So now we will start our panel debate. It's a very interesting edition because we have a lot of guests coming with us, and you can see the ones that will come on the stage today. And the panel debate, combating and adapting to climate change's smart agriculture solutions, will be moderated by our guest that last year was one of our speakers, Teofil Dascălu, CEO and founder of Frizon Group. Please, Teofil, come on the stage. He is very excited to moderate this panel, and I'm sure that you'll bring also your insights and please, yes, on that chair that is reserved for you. Maybe you remember that we said Teofil had decided to return in Romania after an experience abroad, and he first became the technical director of a big farm in Romania, and now he created Frizon Group, which within 4 years succeeded to grow its farmed area from only 400 hectares to 3,700 hectares. Congratulations for the work that you do.
In fact, it's 4,600 hectares.
Perfect. I wish you the best.
It doesn't matter. It's a lot
much
of
more.
Yeah.
I have to update my my presentation, of course. Close to you, it will be my colleague that I'm honored to work with, and of course, she was part of the organization and developing our conference, and we are so grateful to have her here again. Sophie Neve, the agriculture counselor representing Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Romania. Sophie is working since 2000 in the Ministry of Agriculture, Nature and Food Quality, and she has an international experience, now of course representing this area of agriculture for Romania, Bulgaria and Hungary. Please. Moldova, of course. First year, we tried to invite him and he was very busy and he said, next time I will come here. And he did. So thank you so much. And we welcome on the stage Peter de Boer, Strategic Finance and IR Manager, Board Member of AGRAR. And he is part of the team since 2019 as a strategic corporate financial manager and investor relationship manager. And due to his experience, Peter is responsible for leading all the administrative departments in the AGRAR group of companies. Thank you so much for being here. I know you had a rough travel, but I'm glad that you are here with us. We welcome also on the stage the coordinator of think tank Agri-Innovator representing Romanian Farmers Club, Mr. Dan Grigore, with his wide experience in the field of agriculture. Thank you so much for being with us, also arriving directly from the airport here at our conference. And our guest from Romania, Mr. Marius Velea, the General Director of Holland Farming Romania. Thank you so much for being here with us, of course, representing the innovations that you are developing in our country. Teofil, I wish you a very good discussion, and hopefully if you have questions, please do prepare them at the end of the panel, as my colleagues will bring the microphone and we will have a dialogue with our guests. Thank you.
Amalia, thank you very much for the introduction, for everybody to be here. I'm very, very thankful that I'm hosting as a moderator this panel. And thank you, Sophie, for this proposal. First of all, this is, I graduated this university. It's a pleasure to be over here because part of my youth, I was involved in the studies over here. So I think this is one of the best universities you can have in Romania. So very nice that we have this partnership over here between the Netherlands and Romania. Okay, We are talking today about the climate changes and smart agriculture solutions. Very interesting topic. And I would like to ask Sophie about what she thinks about how we can manage and influence the development of Romania, Dutch collaboration in such a way that the know-how is transferred between the two countries at this level in agriculture.
I will see if this works. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Theophil, for your question. Yes, well, I'm very happy that we have this event on a very practical topic of climate adaptation, and that we will share the knowledge and experiences today. And that's really the way I think we should collaborate together and strengthen each other and partner. And it all started with the government-to-government partnership we started on green education between the Netherlands and Romania. And also the partnership between our education and research institutions. We have a 5-year-long partnership standing, and one of the concrete results we took from there is this booklet that you also found at the desk entering the event. And I'm so very happy that not only the institutions that work together, Van Hal Ladenstein and the Center of Excellence of Agri-Education, but also the Dutch companies that were involved in this project have a podium now to explain and show their technologies, but also to meet here with Romanian parties to find business. Next step would be in autumn. We are planning to have a business-to-business matchmaking and a broader mission from the Netherlands to Romania, and to take this a step further in making more concrete this collaboration.
This is very nice what you said, but I want to be a little bit more concrete. Romania, Dutch. What is, let's say, what is lacking in Romania? What is can Dutch bring to Romania, and back and forth? Yeah. What is your opinion? What are the agriculture, let's say, knowledge that Dutch can give to Romania to develop more in this sector? What do you think? What is the most important thing we need for Romania that agriculture is prospering?
Well, for culture, I think that would be to associate better with each other. In the Netherlands, we have this Dutch diamond approach, a multi-stakeholder approach in which governments, companies, NGOs, and knowledge institutions partner together, and they try to find a dot on the horizon together to work on and to take steps. I think you were looking for that answer.
Yeah, of course. Without association, we cannot go on. Okay, I will go to another member of this panel, and I will ask Peter, why the stock exchange? Why did you decide as a farm to go on the stock exchange and make, let's say, like a small financial revolution for Romanian agriculture?
Now, my father, he started in 2008 to invest in Romania, where we had also investments in Germany and in the Netherlands. At that time, I just started to go to university, so it was a long time before I got involved in Romania, in our company. But he founded the company with several Dutch investors, or several Dutch groups of investors, and the agreement was always after 10 years to make an exit. And he started with a dream a long time ago already, when he was working at the Nutreco as a consultant, consulting the largest dairy farmers in Northwest Europe. His dream was to become the largest milk producer in the EU. And I'm quite confident to say that by the end of this year, We have only one competitor left. The rest we eliminated already, let's say. It's Bona Farm in Hungary, and that is a company that is heavily politically involved as well, let's say. But by the end of this year, we will produce we will be the largest, we are already the largest milk producer in Romania, but we will be the largest milk producer in all of the EU, including the UK. Which means that there only are one company in Russia who is larger, who will still be larger than us, which is German owned. So that was his dream, and to be able to integrate and consolidate all those businesses, we looked for several opportunities. It was private equity, stock exchange, or bank financing to integrate. And we thought the stock exchange is the most suitable option, as we have a good growth strategy. Romania has a significant deficit. It imports more over than 50% of raw milk, and if we look to a value-added product like butter, etc., it's even over 60%. So we see a huge growth potential, especially in Eastern Europe, compared to Western Europe, where we expect that a lot of the food production that is now produced in Western countries like Germany, the Netherlands, Denmark, etc., because of partly of population, climate change, etc., different consumer needs, that it will move to Eastern Europe. So that was the main reason, and it was quite a success, because we raised only in 2 days 5 million euros. Then we bought the AGRAR farm, then we financed through an ING financing of 11 million euros the Uphold farm. And of course we just started to construct last year our newest farm, the Strager project, which will also produce 100,000 liters. And I think one thing good to add is because currently we produce almost 200,000 liters per day, and in 2 years we will produce over 300,000 liters per day, to give you a little bit of scale. Probably you know Friesland Campina, or you probably know the Napolact brand, which is here on the Romanian market. Friesland Campina processes last year 293,000 liters per day, and they collected from 1,100 farms. In 2 years we will produce it only with 4 farms. And then still we are way less intensive than the Netherlands, because we have 0.9 cow per hectare, let's say, while the Netherlands is 1.8.
But Peter, to go back to the answer of Sophie, what do you think about the association? And what do you think about joining with other farmers? Are you part of an association in your journey, let's say? Or you think professional farming, large scale, can bring the best profit?
Well, of course, I'm the investor relations director, so by the end of the day, probably I'm a bit biased, but I think that the differentiation of some other companies is that we also show, because we invest heavily. We invested since we arrived in Romania over 120 million euros of direct investments. In 3 weeks, we will announce our strategy till 2030, that will show with a diversification strategy on sustainability, valorizing different way of our milk products, as well as new business lines where we look into greenhouses on a large scale, as a Dutch example. And now I forgot more. Sorry, I forgot now the question. I was really promoting. For sustainability. Yes, on one part, although I'm quite progressive, but it changed a bit my mind, experiencing myself working in our family business instead of having everywhere small farms. The reason why we can do the significant sustainability investment has to do with skills. Like our farm is 24/7 feds. A small farm can't do this. We can invest in, for example, we invested in a manure pipe. First, with one tractor, we could fertilize 14 hectares per day. Now we can do 45 hectares per day. We invested in a compost plant last year. The first came operational. This year, we invest another almost 2 million euros in the second compost plant, and we will roll this out in the coming years. So I think there are many benefits for larger farms, and I think the truth is also, if we look to the competitiveness and allocation of subsidies, which is quite an issue in Romania.
Are you working with subsidies?
I'm sorry?
Are you working with subsidies?
We are, but we get only a bit over 60% of our herd is eligible for subsidies, because subsidies are allocated by liters of milk and by number of cows, but they are on the reference date of 2018. So they are really discriminative against growing companies, and this is a huge problem. And this also maintains farmers who are not economical or who shouldn't sustain and who should normally be taken out of the market. So in that sense, I think there needs to be an increase in professionality, because on average, the milk production per cow in Romania is the lowest in all of Europe. That's 8 liters. Our cows produce on average 30 liters. There are also farmers where their cows produce 40 liters, let's say, but they put more pressure on them, so that's less sustainable. But of course, I would really advocate for larger farms, not all on the size of us, but I think you need the industrial complex, especially to deliver sustainable food to Western Europe as well.
Thank you.
And those smaller farms of 250 cows, let's say.
Yeah. Thank you, Peter. Now we pass to Dan, which he's part of one of the biggest farming associations in Romania, the Farmers Club. And he's, let's say, the director of the think tank for agriculture and innovation, or
Agri-innovator.
Okay, Agri-innovator. Dan, my question to you is the following. You know very well that Romania had big issues with drought in the last years, big issues with, let's say, huge pressure from the price going down because of the war next to us. What do you think about digitalization and technology coming to the farms, and how this is going to help the farmers?
Teofil, this is a very good question. First of all, I would like to thank you again for the invitation and the warm welcome from Romanian Farmers Club. We also salute the Miss Ambassador and Miss Secretary of State, and of course our host, Mr. Giteran. So just putting a very small umbrella on the big climate issues that are striking also Romania and all over the world. We see drought, we see increasing weather anomalies, let's say, and all these hectic, let's say, challenges that farmers should consider. So right now, from a Romanian farmer's point of view, and also from a farmer point of view, they only have two hands. And one is that they need strong operational force, and the second one, they need decisional support. So those two things basically needs to rely on something, and this is basically data. So the first step in every farm, in order to face the challenges of climate change and all the challenges that might occur and which are not currently and cyclic, that they can use to, is to take good control of their farm data. So for that, they need to implement a series of digital solutions. They need to understand how they work in order to have operational control and decision support. So as you mentioned, in Romanian Farmer Club, we basically have three main directions. First of all is about the learning curve, the adoption. So for that, we have two courses now, the Young Leaders and Entrepreneur 4.0. These two courses mainly do the induction steps for farmers, basically in order to face the new adoption of technologies, first of all, and to be not reactive but more proactive on the challenges that they have. On the second pillar, that one that you mentioned, the think tanks, the Agri-innovator think tanks, we have 6 pillars here, which mainly covers, all of them covers the challenges of climatic change, first of all, and disruptive climate issues. And the first one is digital transformation. So for that, we've launched this year the second edition of the Digital Guide for Farmers, for farms. So this is basically a tool, a book, where every farmer could easily see an analysis of more than 70 solutions all over the world. So this was made by the effort of our graduates. We have now about 500 from those two steps of courses. And digitalization is just a piece of the puzzle, because you need to take control of the data, you need to understand the farm issues, but later on you need to try to build up the strategy for the farm. So for that we are looking on the other think tanks with regenerative agriculture. We look on circular economy, because in order to maximize the profit of every farm, you must be very useful of all the resources that you have within farm. And the ones that you cannot consume, better go to biomass, compost, and so on. Okay, so Peter knows better this subject. Also, we focus on... Please.
One question, more to the subject. What should a farmer invest today in which technology that can give tomorrow the best return? Because you are talking about a booklet, you talk about the fact that you studied all these technologies. Tomorrow, an arable farmer or a dairy farmer, if he wants to invest in one piece of technology, which one brings the most return the next day?
So if you ask me for the perfect recipe of the farm, so what to invest more, right now I think all of the farmers should have a good vision of what's up in front, what's up ahead. So in this direction, I think we must all look for regenerative agriculture as a direction. The way on how minimum tillage and these kind of techniques work on preservation of water, because water is one of the most important resources that we need right now. Second, on technology part, let's say, you need to control the data within the farm. So there are a lot of farm management tools, farm management system, which incorporates the data coming out from IoT system, from machinery, in order to have a very clear and good understanding of what's happening in the farm. And probably not the last is to see what is the consuming behavior done in the agri-food sector. So the trends are the consumers are looking for traceability, they are looking for safe food. So this is the part for which we in Romania and also in Europe, we need to take very good control, is the food security. So it's easier to accept everything which comes from other parts, which is cheaper, which can be disruptive, but we must understand very good the health of our kids. I hope I answer your question.
Yeah. Okay, we will pass to Marius. You are the CEO of Holland Farming, and you are involved in nutrition, in plant nutrition and selling products to farmers. How do you see the market after all these difficulties for the sector? You know, it was a drought, farmers had a lack of money, farmers started to cut some of their inputs they used in the past. And how do you think your products helped the Romanian sector, farming sector, to be resilient?
Thank you for the invitation first. I am for the first time here in Iași to the University of Agriculture, and I congratulate you for everything I've seen around, and including this nice hall, good stage, and everything I see here. Seeing this picture, I remember my studency time when all the best student was taking place in the first row. I was staying behind. with you. So it's nice to remember such time. Well, going back to the point, I also want to come back to one of the previous questions. 3-4 years ago, when I saw a drone flying to the agricultural field, I said that this is impossible, this is totally science fiction. And year by year, I saw that the result of having such equipment is sometimes even crucial. So we don't deal drones, but I see that the technology is moving fast in a way that 5-10 years ago I would never believe. Same with fertilizers. Now, unfortunately, with this climate change, the technology has to be more sharp and higher in price. We cannot go on the same strategy as 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Now we have to apply to what is called precise nutrition. This precise nutrition has to care about all the elements that counts in the nutrition of the plant in different rates, and to be applied and to be possible to be uptake in the right time for the vegetation, for every vegetation stage. This means also the analysis of the soil, of the water, and the plant tissue. We know that in relation with the climate change, we have to face with extreme heat. I remember that when I was child, my mother used to tell us, take care, don't stay too much in the sun because it will be 30 degrees, so very hot. Now at 42, 44 degrees, I'm afraid that we have to face again. So as a human, we can hide or we can protect ourselves, but the plant cannot protect themselves by this climate. So we have to help the plants to help themselves first. And the first step, to have the precise nutrition. The precise nutrition means that, for instance, potassium is the major element who is extremely important, the most important in plant resistance against the heat, but also the frost. So how can we observe that the plant will have a lack of nutrition in potassium, for instance? We have to do the plant analysis and the plant tissue analysis to see, comparing from the old leaves up to the young leaves, there is a lost balance. So that's why it is a sign that we have to go again to the precise nutrition in every element. Magnesium, for instance, is the engine of the chlorophyll. We have to care about also magnesium as another example, and so on. So the fertilization has to be more sharp. Unfortunately, this is more costly because to do the soil or the plant tissue analysis is not cheap, but without this we will have serious issues with abortion in the plants, with sunburn, with different other problems in the plant growth. So having this in mind, we will change somehow not only the strategy, but also a little bit of the products. Why? Because today we have to care more about the organic matter. The organic matter if we speak about fertilizers, the organic matter comes to be improved also by the organic fertilizers. So since 10 years ago and before, the organic fertilizers consist only in the raw manure spread in the field, on the ground. Today only the raw manure is not bad, but it's not the reason to consider that we fight against the climate changes. The raw manure is good because it brings to the soil organic matter, and it will improve the soil life, but the raw manure come with different other problems, like weeds, seeds of weeds, like fungi. And the most important is that the assimilation of the elements is not predictable. From the raw manure, the assimilation of phosphorus, for example, or potassium or nitrogen is not predictable, and we cannot see exactly when the plants is able to absorb out of it. So that's why the raw manure is actually the material from which the organic fertilizers processed in specialized factories are to be applied on the field.
Thank you very much. And because you talked about raw manure and manure, and I will go back to Peter because he was saying something about circular agriculture and compost factory. And why a compost factory? Why not spread the manure as it is coming from the cows?
Now, there are several things. We work over 10,000 hectares, so that means those fields are not all around.
How much?
10,000, over 10,000, yeah. So we always need to specify this because we have 7,000 inside of our group and 3,000 hectares is outside our group, but we work all those land. So we are almost fully circular. We produce mainly the feedstock for our cows, approximately 90%. We import some rapeseed, and maybe I can share a bit later on. We also expect to eliminate that because we will invest, or we will soon obtain financing, I think, for this, to develop the first wheatgrass production in a vertical farm in all of Europe. This is already a practice in the United States and some Arabic countries.
Vertical farming for grass?
Yeah, for wheatgrass. It's a production cycle of 6 to 7 days. We look for a cooperation together with some people from the Wageningen University. They will pay us soon a visit in 1 or 2 months. And we also look in time, of course, for a Romanian university to participate in this as well. And there we will produce 20 to 40 tons per day. We do 2 analyses. And we expect that we can replace approximately 25% of our feedstock for our dairy cows, which means rapeseed, but also, for example, lucerne or aflatoxin. And the business case looks really good. We have 90% less water usage, no pesticides, no herbicides, fully automated process. What we see is, of course, it's more open for large-scale farms from 2,000 dairy cows and above. But to come back to your manure story, although in our company we call it the Nutella, and the first time I didn't know, so our logistics guys said, oh, we have transport for Nutella, and I thought, oh, I didn't know we also transported Nutella, but okay, that is our manure part, let's say. We do 2 things. We announced last year with Black Sea Oil and Gas an investment for 30-40 million euros for one of the largest biomethane projects in all of Europe, between 15 and 20 megawatts, to produce biomethane to inject into the grid. With that, we will reduce 90% of our emissions. And next to that, we announced investments last year. The first one, we cooperate with a company from Japan for a compost factory, where we have an input of 21,000 tons of manure, and the output is 7,000 tons of organic fertilizer. By the end of this year, we will double our capacity to 14,000 tons annually produced. And that is mainly a new business line which we sell outside of the group. It's a really good product for greenhouses, wineries, etc. But also for our own fields, especially to the fields that are further away from our farms. There we need to transport our manure, and that's not economical. So then we are obliged, because you collect also a lot of water, because the manure is stored in open lagoons. So there we need to use chemical fertilizer. And through the usage of organic fertilizer of fields that are further away from our farms, we can reduce chemical fertilizer, which is even worse for the climate. But also for our soil, it's way better. We see the hectares where we use our own manure from our cows perform way better, significantly better than where we use chemical fertilizer. And it was a huge benefit that we have so much manure, especially when the Ukraine war started, because that year we decided to almost eliminate the purchase of chemical fertilizer because the prices were rising significantly. And as a listed company, we need to grow, preferably every 3 months, but at least every year. We succeeded to still significantly financially perform as well in that year.
Okay, and to go back to the story of vertical farming for feed, in a country like Romania with a lot of hectares, do we need vertical farming? So in fact, we can use the hectares for maybe nature and put everything into vertical farming. What do you think, Sophie?
That's a very challenging question. Yes,
Yeah, in fact, you see, Europe is going to still in the direction of 2% nature, 2% flowers. We get then more euros for each hectare.
But
Maybe
I think
this
Romania has so much arable land and soils also ready to use for food security, that you still have enough space also for nature. But of course, in the Netherlands, the situation is far different.
Exactly.
And
How is it in Holland?
Yeah, in the Netherlands, you see that our current, my colleagues are working on a spatial planning strategy for agriculture and nature, just to safeguard the very fertile and good lands for agriculture, and at the same time take care of nature conservation. So we really have this complexity with all the nexus goals we have to meet and the European regulations, but at the same time having a top of the bill agri-food production. So we have this constraint in space. And this is the way we try to look forward and have national strategies, but also regional strategies, because in the regions people have the specific knowledge about what's happening and what could be the measures that best fit into all the targets we have to meet for nature, water, climate, but also to have enough space to produce and conditions to produce for our farmers. So those are the new policy developments. And we also target on nature-based solutions. So we have a scheme for agricultural nature management activities, together with a push for more innovative solutions. So those are the two main lines that we work on, to have targeted instruments also to combat climate change and adapt to climate changes.
Okay, thank you. Dana?
Just, I would like to add a couple of ideas regarding to vertical farming. I also have a couple of visits to Wageningen, and I also saw this precision agriculture went to another level. So you were asking previously about what is the best fit for Romania in order to adopt a digital strategy. First, you need to have precision. So drones, for example, to apply the right amount on the right spot, that will decrease a lot of your input costs. Second, the usage of water and what kind of seeds you are using. And now we are seeing NGTs coming up, and the lack of adoption from EU point of view, it's quite laggy, let's say. But going to the vertical farm, what we do not, let's say, control is we call it the digital twin in agriculture, in order to master all the data around you. That can be very good control in vertical farming. So there, you don't have too much challenges. You give the right amount of necessary inputs to grow. It's clock-based, so everything is sharp. So if we try to do that in an open nature, That's the biggest challenge. So that's why the precision agriculture and the use of data and adoption of technology, it's very important for this step, at least, in Romania.
Okay, okay, and because we have only 5 minutes more, a last small question regarding nutrition, and this will be, do you think with all the climate change that will happen in the coming years, we still can be able to do the correct nutrition for the plants without irrigation, or we should go and try to have, I don't know, no-till systems and deduct all the fertilizer and nutrition on the crops in such a way that you can still be profitable? Or you think with precise nutrition, like you said, we can help the plants cope with the climate change?
Well, there are so many things to do. The nutrition is one step, but we have to do so many steps next to it. The minimum tillage is absolutely necessary. Now there are different opinions, how much minimum of this. Now the agronomist has to debate about that. I have also my own opinion, but it's a long time and we don't have, as I see. Another step very important is to do the genetical improvement. I was just talking this morning with a partner from Chisinau, and he's in touch with the institute from Odessa who improved the new varieties, but also the institute from Fundulea for the wheat, and it was talk about to improve the wheat and barley, to be to grow wheat later in the season, not later in the season, but later as a variety. So not the earliest varieties, but the later varieties would be more advisable, because as you have seen this spring, we had a late frost who made suffer the wheat, and not only the whole nature, the orchards and everything, but they suffer very seriously. And that's why the improvement, the genetical improvement is also a key factor. There are also, another step is to use more and more products based on biostimulants and amino acids who help the plant to go over the sensitive moment of their growth stage. And several other inputs we have to apply in order to change not than a little bit, to change more than a little bit the technology we used before in order to compete with the climate changes of today.
Thank you very much. I think this was the panel. I hope, I don't know if there are questions from the room. You have any question, Mine, about climate change?
I'm Menno Lettinger, a member of the Frisian group. My question is for this panel is how you see without irrigation in Romania, how can the farmers survive? I have in my memory that you have one drought year in the 7 years, and now have we in 7 years 5 drought years. What is the solution to survive without irrigation? Want whole Romania, I think maybe there's a small part you can irrigate it in Romania. But what is the solution for the farmers without irrigation? How they can survive?
Without water, nothing is growing. We experienced this in the past 3 years, at least in the south of the country, but also in the east. Nevertheless, we have to proceed to the water conservation as the minimum tillage we spoke before. But also, I have seen in the practice that in the past years, the growers from the south change their crop rotation into a not really technological way. So they relay now only to the autumn crop, like rape and wheat, rape and barley, which is not advisable in principle if now we are in the school. The teachers will compete me in this. I don't advise that, but unfortunately I see that growers who in the past 3-4 years change their crop only for the autumn crop, and they skip the spring crop, financially speaking, they are in a better position. So they earn some money instead of losing money. On a long term, so medium term, it will be problems with the soil quality and soil health because of this. But for now, I don't see any other solution, unfortunately.
Please.
Yeah, I would like to add to it, because I would say, come to Transylvania. We don't irrigate even 1 hectare. Last year, even although the country, in general, Romania, quite suffered from a heat wave, we had a great agricultural year in Transylvania, which was one of the higher tons per hectare of the crops. And we don't have this possibility. No-till is a really good example. Well, we transform completely now to no-till, and to give you an example, it gives us a reduction of input costs for preparing the land, and because we do simultaneously sowing and fertilizing. It has a reduction of those inputs of 48%, and for wheat 38%. So this year we expect a reduction of approximately €1 million there. And it is first of all beneficial for your financials, but also for your crops and the water preservance. But that was the main reason that my father selected at that time, because there are many benefits to be around Bucharest. First of all, it's way easier. I live myself in Amsterdam. It's way easier to reach. First of all, but the land is flat, etc. We need to invest in heavy machinery because it's hilly. We cannot irrigate, or we would have the possibility in some areas, but we have a lot of salt water as well. So I think it is diversifying, try to have an integrated business model, like we perform all our services ourselves, that you have full control of your business processes, of how you seed, precision agriculture. We also work with drones, having a good fertilizer, and as well be innovative and try new things. That's what we now would like to try with our wheatgrass production. We don't want to run away from conventional production, but it's an add-on in years where we would have lower production, at least to give our cows a constant quality crop, let's say. And that is really the advantage of that wheatgrass, because you have a constant protein level, and it shows, there's a lot of research done, that the cow will eat less number of tons, so it's again a reduction, as well as the milk yields will increase. So I think you should also, the weather we cannot control by the end of the day, so you should think strategically and innovative how you can tackle those years that you are affected by it. But as I said, in generally, Transylvania it's in Transylvania a really different case than in other parts, because even with irrigation, there are, from what I understand, but this is only from what I heard, is in the Bucharest area, even farmers who invested in irrigation, it evapes already before it even touches the ground. So even irrigation is probably not the end solution.
Yeah.
If I could add
only one answer to your question. So just a little south from Iași here, we have in Vaslui one of our members of Romanian club, which is Evel Hash company, which actually does conservative agriculture. So based on the yields, so they are a little bit below the average of the area, what they produce. But from the financial point of view, by practicing minimum tillage, conserving the water in the soil, doing precision agriculture, applying treatments with drones and so on, they are able to lower the cost of the production good enough in order so that below average yield can be even profitable. And on top of that, if you applied for carbon credits, let's say, which is one backup or extra money that you can receive out from those practices, you can become quite profitable. So this is just one example for but then the scale of without irrigation, what has then the scale from the farm? When you make a profit for maybe 40 euros per hectare, what do a farmer with 200 hectares? You cannot survive. What is then the scale?
Exactly. He has to go to have a job and then during the weekend farm with 200 hectares. Yes, you are right. The scale has to go up for the Romanian farmers with no irrigation. And this is in fact a reality for Romania. And yeah. This will kill a little bit the small-size entrepreneurs in farming. But for me, as a final conclusion, Dutch-Romanian, because I'm working together with Dutch colleagues, Friesland colleagues more exactly, they're from north part of Holland. For me, what I saw is that still Romania is lacking know-how in farming. We know maybe a lot about theory, but not so much about practice. So from my point of view, that's why we as farms developed quite a lot compared with, let's say, the possibility to develop in Holland, such a farm like yours, is because over here we had space, we had good land, and a good, let's say, system, even a government system. And from my point of view, what Romania needs to learn from the Dutch is how to educate the younger generations and how to put people to make them understand what is work in agriculture. Thank you very much for this panel. And yeah, have a nice day.
Thank you again. Thank you again to Teofil Dascăru, the CEO and founder of Frison Group, as he moderated this panel. Thank you also to the panelists. And I am so grateful that you are here with us. And please come here in front so we can have a group photo to remember this beautiful moment. And my colleagues will help us with a photo. The photographer, I'm sure he comes. If not, we will be live here, of course. And I have just one question in order to have this panel concluded from my point of view. What do you think that us Romanians in our region now that we have all this news that came up with the new changes, political changes, economical changes, and so on. What should we do regarding this new opportunity that we have developed with the Dutch-Romanian cooperation? Maybe one idea. What do you think? Please.
I agree with Teofil that the youth has the future. And I'm very happy to see that also the Romanian government is investing in instruments for youngsters to start up their business, to have their first investments. And we will continue to facilitate also the interaction between the institutions. We have good examples of Dutch companies that have internshippers and that receive students to the Netherlands and vice versa. Exchanges of teachers. Christian will have his lecture later. So I really think we should continue also especially focusing on strengthening the young farmers to enter the market in a resilient way.
I think a key point is, and it's also where we struggle, but where we try to work on for a long time, is the cooperation between universities and the business field. And I think on that part, that is significantly different here than that is in the Netherlands. Nevertheless, I think Romania has a lot of potential. We employ over 300 Romanians in our company. With our great people who really want to grow, who are really dedicated, who are a significant part of the success of the AGRAR. They are also represented in our management team. Our management team is mainly compounded by Romanians, and especially that we'll see a shift from food production due to rising gas prices and other prices as well, not only in dairy, but also in greenhouses, in the pork sector. We will see a movement to Eastern Europe. And it's really important that the Romanian government designs a clear strategy and not changes every year, because that is quite hard to take investment decisions. But in general, we are really positive, but we need to work together as the business environment, together with the government and the university, to create a resilient and long-term strategy, especially if we also take in consideration that probably Ukraine will enter in the EU in a couple of years, and that will be a huge competitor, especially on crop production. I don't think necessarily on dairy, but on crop production, that is, they are more advanced, let's say, there. But generally, the positive view. And I would like to mention that we have traineeships for students, not only if you want to work on a farm, but we need business analysts, data analysts, etc. You can just have an office job like me, or if you want to be part of the stock exchange story of the AGRAR. So we're more than open to welcome students every year to contribute something to the AGRAR. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very short. We definitely need education, so the university, it's very important for building up strong agriculture support. Second, we need to enter in the, let's say, clubs or membership where gather together ideas and work even in think tanks as we do is not necessarily the best option, but the most important thing is to collaborate, to work together, to associate. And this is important in order to reach higher yields, higher expectation, and to understand better what's going on in agriculture. So for that, Romanian Farmers Club is also here to help.
Thank you so much. Marius, please.
Romanian-Dutch cooperation, yes. I'm also linked with the hydroponic glass houses, so high-tech. And what I see in the Netherlands and I don't see in Romania is the conception that the Romanian growers need to cooperate also with the consultants. So I see growers also in the arable crops, also in horticulture, coming from different other professions, different other segments of activities. And they believe that doing agriculture is something that you put a little bit of water, you give a fertilizer, and that's all. But we really need in agriculture, especially in this time with the climate change, we need a good advisor, which our growers still don't apply for.
Thank you again. We have the photographer, so now we can have the official group photo to remember this important moment. Yes, that would be nice. It's okay. Oh, okay. Like this? Okay. Please applaud us. Thank you so much to all the speakers that have been today with us. Sophie Neve, the Agriculture Counselor representing the Embassy of the Netherlands. Peter de Boyer, representing the board management team in AGRAR. Dan Grigore, coordinator of Think Tank, Agri-Innovator Romania Farmers Club. And Marius Velia, General Director of Holland Farming Romania, and of course to our friend, speaker and moderator Teofil Dascălu, CEO and founder of Free Zone Group. Now.